Welcome back in, everybody, to the Black Twitch League Week 1, Day 1. This will be the second series between Team DPS and Spectre Gaming. And let me tell you, we had an absolute banger for the first game between Team Ishtar and the Westchester University Rams.
A great series to open us up there and our season. And, we just had to take that long of a break to make sure that we could come back and, save up enough energy to make sure that we get this one just as good. But of course, Yanni, this was. These two teams also very, very new to the league here. No recognizable faces here, but definitely looking to make as good of an impression as Westchester did, or maybe even better.
Yeah, I don't know who any of these players are, but let me tell you something. One thing I do know is that Learnings Victor is pretty darn good, and I am very surprised that they were the ones to ban it. That said, Aliskander on Team DPS does happen to play it, so could be a ban over in that direction. They banned Hecarim. Talus plays a lot of Hecarim, so Team DPS, they went in for Morgana Diana and Aurelian Soul as their final ban.
Yeah, the ASOL ban is really interesting, but might be in the same vein as why we got a Callista in game one, right? It's just comfort here, something you can just pull out against a newer team that isn't as familiar with you as, some of the other teams that you scrim with or in some of the other leagues. And even for us here, we're not as familiar with this team. As first pickup here is whoa, that's way off meta.
What season is this, bro?
It's season 8?
Yeah, so they opt to go into the Tristana for the first pick. I mean, I love playing me Tristana. I think Tristana is pretty good. For Team DPS, your bad connection is a Tristana main. It's played 92 games in solo queue with a 60% win rate, so that is probably the reason as to why they went in on this Tristana.
Tristana's a champion that really gets destroyed by exhaust, though. That's the main thing that has sort of pushed her away from being absolutely meta right now, despite, all of these bot lane champions being sort of mid game, late game with Caitlyn, with Jinx, that sort of stuff being picked up a lot like Aphelios. Tristana should do well into all three of those matchups, except for the fact that exhaust exists and is so prevalent in that bottom side. But the Xin Zhao going to come through. That makes a little bit more sense for Swagasm here, but Xayah getting picked up by Rebound. This is another sort of off of the wall choice and has two different builds that are popular. There's the lethality build as well as the on-hit build, so curious to see which one comes through.
Yeah, I am as well. I think either build for Xayah is pretty good. The lethality build seems to just do a heck of a lot of damage from so far away. So if you want to try to match the range of Tristana, maybe you could go that direction, but not quite sure. Is Kha'Zix the pickup here for Team DPS? And I think Kha'Zix is going to have a hard time with the first two champions we see out of Team Spectre.
So one thing to keep in mind is Kha'Zix has a couple of different builds right now as well. One thing to keep in mind is with the updates to all those bruiser items, a lot of them got their health taken away, but some more AD given to them as well. This benefits Kha'Zix as a champion. It means you can go for the Gore Drinker, Conqueror, Death's Dance, Mauve Malmortius build as opposed to the full Assassin one. But of course, could still be just a straight up Assassin Kha'Zix here, looking to just one-shot this Xayah before she's able to have any sort of impact on the game. I will be curious to see what the sort of option is here. And the Soraka going to be the answer with what could be a Janna coming through. So it's just going to be your very, very hyper-traditional Enchantresses in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and realistically speaking, the teams have determined that, yep, we're going to put Xayah and Tristana as the ones to carry this game. I got to be honest, Adam. I'm not quite sure the power level of the Tristana Soraka bot lane. I mean, having a second health bar is always great, but Janna's shielding, giving some extra damage there. A lot of disruption with tornadoes and the glacial augment.
Yeah, Janna is incredibly strong right now as well, ever since her mini rework. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is Tristana has no way into this fight now. She has absolutely no way to try and engage these plays unless there's absolute awful positioning coming through from this Xayah and Janna. As long as the tornado is off of cooldown, which is pretty easy because you take it level 1 and you really only use it to either poke or disengage, it's just going to mean so much safety for this Xayah to be able to farm up. And I think that Xayah skills a little bit better into the later stages of the game than Tristana. You have that safety as well with the Featherstorm come level 6. That just makes it so difficult for Tristana and Soraka to do anything this game. But we'll have to see if they can maybe take advantage of some early game pressure that Kha'Zix potentially can put down. And We'll see what the mid lane option is here, because right now the Malzahar is being hovered. It's an incredibly safe blind pick here.
Right, and it looks like Team Spectre, their team composition so far says, we are going to engage on our terms, right? They're either going to go in with Xin Zhao and Malzahar with picks, or they're going to be, with the ultimates of Xayah and Janna and say, you know what, we don't want any of the smoke, nothing like that. So the ban, just to run through the bans real quick, DPS opted into a Vhagar and Gangplank ban. Meanwhile, on the side of Spectre, they took care of Orianna and Cho'Gath. So definitely some fears of hard engagement out of the side of Spectre. Seems like they're banning well toward their team composition as team DPS. Maybe they've decided they're gonna play the long game. It's Anivia.
That instantly just means that you're playing the long game in a lot of ways. Anivia just has the best wave clear in the game. You're just able to press R on a wave. You're able to sit back. You're able to stay incredibly safe. And when you pick an Ornn alongside that, it just means that Team DPS are just going to be sitting back, parking the bus, waiting for their time to shine. And it's really going to be a sort of 2-carry comp in that sense with your Tristana and your Anivia giving your 2 senses of damage. Kha'Zix has the opportunity to be a pretty big force in this one, but considering the last 2 picks coming through from the side of Team Spectre, I'm not expecting this Kha'Zix to do too much if they go the Assassin build. Very much curious to see if they do opt for that Bruiser build, or if they are going to be stuck in their ways and sort of staying with this Assassin build, because it's really hard to assassinate a Malzahar or a Set. It's easier to 1v1 them if you have that Bruiser build.
Set, the final pickup for Team Spectre, and let me tell you, the only thing that's going to be picked up is this Ornn into the rest of his team. When you have a burly boy like that and you are throwing him into your team, it's going to deal a heck of a lot of damage. And like you said, Kha'Zix going to struggle against this team. Set is not a champion that you can easily assassinate, nor is Xin Zhao. You have Janna to disengage, Malzahar to lock down the Kha'Zix. And realistically speaking, the only thing that matches in this team composition with the Kha'Zix is the Tristana leap, but you don't even use Tristana leap that way unless you're in an incredibly aggressive position. This Kha'Zix seems out of place.
The Kha'Zix is a little bit odd. I mean, from what we could tell in just game chat that we were seeing, Talos didn't seem very happy that the Hecarim was banned away, but granted, Kha'Zix is a very aggressive pick as your sort of secondary option here, especially when you don't have a whole lot of information. I think that maybe if you save that pick for later on in the draft, it might force some different options to come out. I think the Ornn is something that you could have just blind picked yourself as well, but obviously they wanted to try and pick up a jungler as quickly as possible. Just not sure if that was the exact option that they wanted.
All right, now I have an important question for you.
Yes.
Is anybody going to buy heel cut on Team Spectre? Remember, in our last game, that involved an ocean soul. The Braum was the only one who had heel cut until the Aphelios got it before the last fight.
I think, especially when there's a Soraka, it's always a little bit more of just a massive red flag, and you're like, yeah, you have to build this. A lot of the times you'll see even the Janna building a first item Oblivion, or you'll see the Xayah picking up a very early Executioner's Calling just to be able to start to stack that down. Malzahar really likes to build Morellonomicon regardless, because it gives you, you're able to spread it so easily as well, so wouldn't be surprised to see that come through. But I think the main thing that we need to watch out for here is if they can sort of punish this Soraka in the early game, because we know how difficult the game can get when you get a Soraka to level 11, we get her to 2 items or something. It's so difficult to have to deal with her, not only for the sake of the Tristana, but also for the sake of this Anivia and this Ornn. They're going to be the real benefactors of all of these heals coming through.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the Xin Zhao is going to be able to make hay in this bot lane against the Tristana and Soraka. Obviously, Tristana can disengage herself. Soraka can put down the Silent Zone, and that is a great way of stopping a Xin Zhao. But really, it looks like it's going to be on the DPS bot lane to have their dancing shoes on to be able to avoid the Janna tornadoes.
Yeah, I think that the Janna tornadoes are going to sort of be the make or break in this game in general in terms of the engage. Janna is purely a disengaged champion here in this situation when you've got enough engage on your side. Basically, HyperF's job is just to keep Rebound as safe and as healthy as possible, really only needing to... the only other person that they really need to keep safe is themselves in that sense, but it should be pretty straightforward with what we're expecting out of it. I'm curious to see what this Janna builds. There are a couple of different options. Mandate is still a great option option, especially since you take that Glacial Augment. Moonstone was always your super safe option, but Shurelya's is the main thing that we've seen on these Genis to give even more movement speed to their team. So curious to see what the build options are.
I do have one question about Team DPS real quick. How are they going to start these fights? How are they going to engage?
I think a lot of how they're going to start these fights comes down to picks with the Anivia or the Ornn. That's really how they find the fights to go into. On even footing, I want to say, like in terms of team fights. If it's looking for sort of skirmish style things, if someone walks up to a Kha'Zix, the Kha'Zix still has a lot of single target damage that you have to be wary of. But I think the main way that they do it is they look for the picks. They look to split up those team fights. They have a lot of zone control available with the Ornn, with the Anivia, with the Soraka, that they can sort of try and shred out the fights a little bit, spread everyone out, and really take someone down with them. But it's going to be incredibly difficult to execute this game, especially when you're looking down the barrel of a Xin Zhao who can disrupt the backline, the Set that can disrupt the backline, the Malzahar that can disrupt the front line and the backline, and the Xayah just pumping out damage.
Well, we will see if Team DPS is going to be able to get the scaling comp that they want, but we're going to make like Team Spectre and disengage from the spectator delay. We will be back very shortly after the delay to bring you Game 1 between Team DPS and Spectre Gaming. Welcome back, everybody, for the final series of the night. But don't you fret, we will have more Twitch League action tomorrow. That being said, we have a game for right now. Team DPS versus Spectre Gaming. Spectre Gaming on the red side, Team DPS on the blue side. Lots of pings going out, but not a whole lot of things happening. As they're just chilling behind a wall here. This is the elaborate bait.
Yeah, and yeah, it looks like they're just trying to bait this one out. If we can toggle the vision, I don't know if they actually saw them move in there. Oh boy, here it comes.
Yeah, they're going for Swag, but Swag is just going to be able to walk out. He was not too close. Lake now trying to collapse from the top side, or maybe just put down a ward, but it looks like everybody's backing here. Rebound with dropping a ward onto the red buff. No, not on the red buff. Right on the chickens. Not sure if that was intentional.
Yeah, just going to be putting that ward down and get a little bit more information there. But regardless, as it stands right now, it is looking pretty good for themselves.
Yeah, nothing too crazy is happening. So, the jungle pathing. Tell me about the Kha'Zix jungle path.
Kha'Zix jungle pathing is going to be red buff to... Oh, what is going on, Alex Kander here? Oh my goodness.
Yo,
they don't see it.
No way. Oh my god.
They didn't see that ward.
Is Alex Kander going to take this? There's no way. 0% chance. This is a 0%er. Oh, look at him in jump. Look at him in jump.
Oh! No, so close!
He did not get it. Oh my god.
Oh, he did it too early, man.
Oh, he biffed it.
Oh,
that's a huge loss. Look at all the CS that Malzahar already has. 6 CS up right now. That's bad.
It's also the experience, right? Because Anadia is not being in lane for a lot of that experience, so it's basically just a free level 2 for learning here. So Aliskander tried to do it, but yes, jungle pathing, as we were going to say, just a typical full clear, I think, on the first time here, and they'll see if they can maybe make a play on the top side of the map, but as we said, very difficult. Here we go.
There's the engagement down onto Rebound, the exhaust being taken down there, Rebound having to flash away, Hyper F burning the heal. Meanwhile, on the other side of Team DPS, they get rid of the heal and the exhaust, so a pretty solid engagement, all things considered, if you are Team DPS, and when you have 2 health bars, you're going to abuse it.
Yeah, one thing to note, though, is Soraka took the exhaust in this lane, whereas the exhaust is on Rebound on the opposite side. This actually bodes really well for the likes of Team Spectre, because with the rune choices and the build that I see from Rebound here, this is going to be Lethality Xayah, very likely to build the Ionian Boots of Lucidity to have a lower cooldown on that exhaust, as well the heal that's going to be coming out from Jenna is going to be stronger because she's building those heal power items as well. So interesting angle, to say the least, coming through from Fierce Sparrow and Your Bad Connection to have those summoners the opposite way around.
Yeah, look at poor Talus up here, just getting absolutely bullied, but Alice Canner and Quagert are there to maybe make something happen. However, learning, coming up from the bottom side, and Swag is just going to be able to have their double buffs hang out a little bit, try to poke at Talus, and generally make life hard on him.
Swag hasn't stole the blue buff.
We did.
Yes, he stole the blue buff. He was able to steal it under their wings, and now Aliskander in a little bit of trouble.
Well, land the stun onto Swag, but here comes Lake on the rotation.
Oh!
Flash burn, and no, Talus is going to get caught up in that one too. The Anivia egg is going to be scrambled, and it's going to be first blood over to Swag. Swag going to be able to dash over to the Scuttle Crab to be able to survive. Talus will walk out of there no worse for wear, but first blood going over to Spectre, and that's exactly what the doctor orders when you are playing Xin Zhao.
Yeah, especially when you're playing up against the Kha'Zix, where you want to kind of prevent their early game from snowballing in any way, shape, or form. Going in for that invade, stealing away the blue buff, and still finding the play when at the end of all of that means that this Xin Zhao's very happy. Learning's very happy with that, because the Anivia takes a death, doesn't have that egg, which can be so annoying at level 6 when you're trying to just use your Nether Grasp. Sorry, there had to think about it for a sec. Nether Grasp on her to pick up a solo kill as well.
There you go.
And the Kha'Zix now trying to look for a counter jungle here, the counter jungle angle. I don't know if you can really dive a Janna Xayah here, because Janna exists. She is, as we said, 1,000,000% disengage.
Yep, like we talked about, Spectre only wants to take fights on their terms, and you saw from the early disengage, even at that level 2 fight, I mean, they didn't want that fight, so they just opted not to take it. Obviously, the Summoners got burnt by Rebound, but as you get later into the game, that sort of thing's going to happen less and less.
It's going to be a little bit more of a boon to them as time goes on, but I think that for the time being, with how this early game has gone, while it is still a little bit quiet and while there's still a little bit more time for the side of Team DPS to get back into it, Spectre is feeling pretty happy about themselves right now.
Yeah, Spectre is feeling pretty good, like you said. I mean, Lake has a pretty high CS lead here, about 20 CS. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, their advantage is 6. In the bottom lane, they're down 12, but you know what? That's okay. The gold lead is, slightly in their favor due to that first blood, so all Lake has to do is just continue to farm up and trade like that.
Yeah, Lake is taking a decent amount of damage, but Quaker, don't think they have the... Oh,
never mind. Not like that. Quaker finding the solo kill on top of Blake, and Orange just clapped him. Like, when that animation just looks like he clapped somebody. And, well, he certainly clapped Lake there.
Yeah, that was...
I certainly wasn't expecting that.
That was comedic timing at its finest there. The Orange is able to find a really good trade onto Lake there. Gonna even up the gold just a little bit, but you can see still a really good CS lead. Dragon gonna be going over to the side of Swagasm and Co for Spectre as well. And as it stands with the builds that are coming through, this is gonna be the lethality. The Assassin Kha'Zix here took the first strike as well, so...
Yeah, and look at the build out of Rebound as well,
yes.
Going with the Serrated Dirk, so it looks like it's going to be lethality on the side of the Xayah as well.
And I don't mind it as much on the Xayah because you've got the set, you've got the Xin Zhao as well, and you've got the consistent damage coming through from the Malzahar. The main reason why I'm critical of it on the flip side for Talus here is because who are you assassinating? Like, that's the real question. It has to be either the Xayah or the Janna, but we talked about what Janna does here. Janna is going to be joined with Xayah at the hip, but oh boy, here comes the fight.
Yep, and Talus is coming through as well. Blake, wait, what are you doing?
Oh, didn't give the assist over to Talus.
But, like, yeah, I mean, I suppose, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the only thing that seemed defensible. I don't know, I thought he thought that he could win that fight, so... But I mean, I suppose if that's the way it's gonna go, that's the way it's gonna be.
Oh, Swagasm though.
Yeah, wait, your bad connection is just beating the tar out of Swagasm. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, a flash burnt there out of Fierce Sparrow. I'm very surprised that the Tristana was unable to find a kill on to the Xin Zhao. Now Rebound trying to dive the turret has been exhausted, has been silenced, is going to use that ultimate. Are they going to be able to get out the last ultimate? Oh no, the exhaust went down onto your bad. The heals are out though. Swagasm's gonna die for it.
Oh no,
Hyper's going for it. They're gonna die too. It's a double kill. The second health bar, Fierce Sparrow putting in work.
You dropped the ball really hard on that one, and now all of a sudden Team DPS are feeling really good about themselves. Your bad connection finds a really interesting engage onto Swagasm in the jungle there. It actually ends up being
capital in, my guy.
Yeah, like it worked though. It worked when all at the end of the day, because Swagasm, they're able to steal away the red buff, but they're already chunked out before this play on the bottom side of the map, and Rebound and HyperF just go insane and go for a random dive for no reason, and it ends up biting them in the butt.
Yeah, that did not go well for them. That is not what you want to see when you are you had a small advantage in this game, and now all of a sudden you're staring down 4 straight kills. Quaker's got 2. Your bad connections got 2 with them. I mean, Tristana with kills in the early game, that is very worrisome. Oh, really? All this damage that Alexander's doing. Alexander, God, I knew I was going to do it.
Yep.
I knew I was going to do it.
You called your own shot in that one.
I told you I was going to do it, and I did it. It's so hard, man. Why can't you just have a normal name?
Now we're flaming their names, aren't we? But regardless, it's looking a little bit difficult for the side of Team Spectre right now to try and find some sort of engage. Lake has tried to really push forward this advantage on the top side, but Warren doesn't care. Look at the first item that's going to be coming out, and now Talus is here as well. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Lake trying to find a way out, but he will only find Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is going to pick up their first kill of the game. And right now, yeah, and you know what? 5 kills for the side of DPS. A CS lead in the jungle. They have the Rift Heralds. I mean, after giving up that first blood, it's been all DPS.
Yeah, they've been able to find all of their engages, but Aliskander will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, Aliskander's A-okay.
I think the biggest thing to keep in mind, though, is your bad connection on this bottom side was gifted over those 2 kills sort of out of nowhere. I mean, the dive coming through from the Janna didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Swagasm taking up that tower and ends up dying for it doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. There's a lot of mistakes that have been happening on this bottom side of the map, and I think it ends up really costing Rebound here, who hasn't played this game badly by any means, has done everything according to plan. It's just that now that this Tristana is 2-0, it gives the Xayah so many fewer options there. So lots of, what am I trying to say? Not as many options. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, honestly, if I'm Rebound, I mean, in my head, I'm like, man, this is just a team diff. Like,
Yes.
And it's hard to feel that way, and obviously you don't want to feel that way when you're playing organized 5v5. But man, when you watch your support and your jungler just gift wrap kills over to the enemy AD carry, it's kind of tilting, man.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you.
It can be a little bit challenging, and I mean, if you look at the top side of the map here, this Ornn out of nowhere is 2-0-1, has the Frozen Heart. This set isn't going a tanky build, which sort of plays into Talus's cards a little bit more, but here comes the play on the bottom side.
Uh-oh, Rebound had been silenced, is going to use the ultimate to be able to get out. Talus, like you said, was there. We see some, just a little bit of fighting back in the top lane, but here in the mid lane, Aliskander is going to have to flash away. He's going to be able to put down the ultimate to be able to get out of there. But in the bottom lane, the Rift Herald has been dropped down. Man, there's so much action going around on the map. Looks like this will be the first turret to fall. It will. And now Talus is just going for it all. The exhaust goes down. Connection leaping forward for it. Learning is now going to finally use the Nether Grasp, but then it gets silenced. The root goes down. There's a kill. Swag on top of Talus, getting pretty low. Looking for the knockup onto Sparrow. They find it. Learning, trying to do some consistent damage here. Talus is just trying to find a way out, and they will be able to find a way out. And Sparrow will say, you know what, I am done fighting. But Talus is the one to be able to escape. The escape artist Kha'Zix gets there.
It's a good fight to come back around for this Xin Zhao and this Malzahar especially. They're able to pick up a kill apiece here. Xayah able to stay alive as well, so really well played from them. But Lake, oh man.
Uh-oh, this could be problematic. Lots of damage coming down here. Big shield by Lake and Quaker.
Anivia?
Throwing up a couple of turret shots. Nothing doing there. Yeah, like you said, Anivia near the top. Uh-oh. He's channeling the recall.
Oh.
Now he's stuck under the turret. He gets knocked up and will die mid-showstopper. That one is going to go over to Aliskander. That said, second dragon of the game taken by the side of Spectre. So a good job of them parlaying their advantage in the bottom lane into a second objective.
Yeah, and really pushing forward their advantage on the top side of the map is the side of Team DPS. Finding another kill onto Lake here, moving this Anivia up, getting a lot more tower plates. Their early tower taking power has been massive thus far. 10 plates for them, 11 plates once that tower's taken down as well, compared to 1 plate for the side of Team Spectre. So that's really where that gold difference is expanding here. You can see already about, oh my goodness, 5,000 gold in the lead for the side of Team DPS.
Yeah, and it's really just 14 minutes into the game now. The platings are just about to fall, so there's nothing that Spectre is going to be able to do to make up that gap as of right now, aside from just standard fighting and really out-farming their opponents. But remember, Aliskander was, missed the first wave and is now the same level, is up 20 CS. Like, this might just be a mid-gap.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult with what is going on thus far this game. Swagasm, though.
Yeah, Swag takes a whole lot of damage. Quagger does so much, but look at those 3-man knockups out of Hyper F. That is exactly what Spectre Gaming needs to do if they want to be able to win this game. You can scale up, you can disengage, fight the fights that you want to fight.
And it's important for them to continue to play out this style. Despite them being down on gold right now, you need to just stick to your guns in a lot of senses to just sort of get yourself back into this game. The Xayah is going to start to do a lot more damage now that they've got the Eclipse unlocked, and with really the only tank on the enemy team being that Ornn, and I mean, we talked about the Kha'Zix being not the Bruiser build, but the Assassin build. This Xayah has so much potential to just shred through enemy teams at will.
Yeah, as long as the Xayah just continues to farm, does not die, continues to play smart and use the ultimate to be able to get out of any sticky situations, you'll be in pretty good shape. But the gaping hole in this game right now is Lake, who is 0-4-1 and not building tanky, like we mentioned a little bit earlier.
Yeah, has the Blade of the Ruined King, which is good against exactly the Ornn, and even then with the Frozen Heart already complete, it's sort of been cancelled out before it's even built. I think we've just got to see the Hullbreaker come through, maybe some tankier items as well on this set to make sure that the set is relevant in this game, but you know, when you're already taking the lethal tempo, it means that you're going to be squishier. You really need to look for those 1v1 kills, and that has not happened in this lane. It has been the Ornn solo killing the set, if anything.
And really, you know, you kind of need that tanky member on your team, and Lake is just not able to be that member because, you know, Swag is not going to ever be that on Xin Zhao. Obviously, you're going to have the ultimate mitigation, but you want somebody who's going to be able to get into the middle of things and be very big and beefy. You need a Bungus on your team, right? Yes. Quagert is the Bungus, right?
And another factor is that Ornn is going to give you some free scaling as well. Oh, man.
Oh, here comes the Blade Caller trying to survive. Ornhorn coming out is going to hit 3 members of the team. Although Rebound, Swag, Hyper F, and Learning, the side of Spectre Gaming, will be able to disengage. However, here's a 5-man mid-offensive. Rift Herald should be available shortly for Talus if they do choose to drop it, and they do. Like, getting poked from over the wall, they know, they've seen that set, they know where they're at. Talus, all right, jumping forward, trying to at least make sure the charge gets off, and it does. The stun down onto Swag. Swag is going to have to flash over, does get shielded.
Oh, here comes set!
Going to flash forward. The set in the middle of things. They're trying to find Talus. Talus is low. Alexander has gone into the egg form, but has not died yet. The root, though, on to the Tristana. The auto attacks. Do they have enough? Alice Cantor, I'm pretty sure they flashed while they were still in egg, but they managed to find a way out. Quaker trying to run away, but now they found Rebound, and Rebound will die. And Lake trying to find a kill on the Quaker, but cannot finish off the big tanky Ornn. It ends up being a 1-for-0 in favor of Team DPS, and they get the turret as well. The gold lead beginning to expand upwards of 6K.
Really rough stuff there, unfortunately. The Xayah goes down despite playing that so well, and this Ornn is just such a menace in this front line. We saw a great flank coming through from Lake, but it's just not enough at this stage. There's not enough stats to be able to make it work, as what is this extremely deep TP here? Quagert.
Quagert looking to find Swag here. Swag is going to be able to dash right over the wall, and they got people using the Hex Gates.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but here comes the rest of the team. Alice Cantor, they're fighting in a choke point. Looks like just a disengage here, nothing more. But the Dragon is up, and DPS finally has the advantage here. It looks like they will look to take their first Drake of the game.
Yeah, looking to take that one down. Quagert just going to drop the dance moves down here, showing off that, you know, I may be on Ornn, but I'm having the time of my life here. But yeah, thus far, it's been all Team DPS. They're consistently able to find the DPS to take down any Spectre members in their wake, and unfortunately, the SMG from Spectre is not enough to really push through and find any more kills for themselves, as this Xayah right now, just not enough damage.
Oh, knockup does not land, and now suppressed under the turret. This could be a disaster. The heals are coming out from Quagert, but not enough. A shutdown going over to Swag. It's their third kill of the game, and now Lake from the side has gotten exhausted. Wasn't able to use their ultimate, though, and then the knockback coming through from Tristana. Great job to save any more potential picks there. So just a 1-for-0, but shutdown gold going over to the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, the Xin Zhao picking that up. You want to see that gold potentially going onto the Malzahar or the Xayah here, but I mean, Xin Zhao's not the worst member to pick it up at this stage. The main issue that I have with it is learning flashing forward to try and find a silence. The real question I have is, you flash forward, you silence them, then what? What happens from there? Like, it kind of falls apart.
You disengage, just like what your team comp is meant to do.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense from there, but yeah, the flash forward, definitely not what I was looking for from that Malzahar, and it ends up being a pretty costly summoner spell, because if Learning gets that shield poked out now, they are very much in danger of just getting one-shot by Talus or your bad connection.
Well, Talus is in danger of getting one-shot by the rest of the team. Knock up not quite there, but Talus did not jump in the right direction. The silence is going down as Sparrow trying to find a way to get Talus out of there, but now Connection has showed up to the party. Aliskander over the wall, creating a whole lot of discourse, but Lake is going to find a kill. And now Sparrow will fall, gets punched to death. And over the wall, though, Aliskander will be able to pick off Hyper F. 2 for 1 in favor of Spectre.
Yeah, and finally Lake is able to get some value in these fights, able to pick up a double kill, and a lot of that was just due to Talus being way too deep in that play. Picked up the Edge of Night now, but the jump just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Jumped one way, ulted back the other way, didn't really cover a whole lot of ground with all of those mobility spells that the Kha'Zix has, and when at the end of that play, it's just a big comeback.
It's just a big L. It's just a big L, man.
Yeah, it's a big L. It's a big opportunity for the side of Spectre as well as the set to just come back into this game and come back into relevance.
Yeah, I think what Talus did, he tried to put the schmoves on him, and, you know, unfortunately, sometimes in League of Legends, you can juke, and then sometimes you try to do the schmoves, and unfortunately, you can kind of zigzag yourself into death. And I think that's what happened. I think Talus tried to be a little too cute there, tried to, you know, fake the jump one way, go, you know, invisible the other way, trying to get close to the Soraka, when he could have just went over the wall.
Yeah, I think that's what the best play is, but what is this?
Bull. I call bull. Wait a minute, maybe not.
No.
Learning is in the bot lane pushing. There is no vision on this Baron. At 21 minutes, DPS, who just lost a fight, finally the pings are coming out. You can see Quagger's just dancing on him, man. He'll finally get poked out, but he's keeping everybody away. This Baron is gone!
Oh my goodness, the DPS Baron?
Aggressive play out of DPS, but just like that, it's like that last fight never happened.
And Quagger already level 13 here on this Ornn means that they have upgrades potentially in the works in the next couple of minutes here. Weirdest thing to me, no objective bounties despite the 6,000 gold lead here.
Same?
Like,
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, pretty sure those are supposed to come online a little bit earlier.
Learning, trying to get close, trying to put a slow onto somebody, but a 4-man silence will dissuade any further engagement. Aliskander's been spotted out on the wrong side of the tracks by Lake. Lake, however, the slow is down. The stun is out, the wall too, and he's just unable to go anywhere, although Swag is going to be able to fly through all of that, try to find an engagement onto the bird. The bird will burn the flash. However, the rest of DPS has the inside track on the mid lane, as the mid-inner turret will fall.
And I think... No.
There you go.
Wow, great timing when they're already down, you know, 6,500 gold finally. But Talus has somehow found a way to make this Kha'Zix work. It's an interesting evolve path as well. Evolve the claws first, then the invisibility. Normally you see the jump evolved second or the spike racks. There's a lot of different options, but went for the invisibility second.
The schmoves, Adam, the schmoves.
Yes, it's the schmoves. I think that the better schmoves would be just to get the leap so that you can get reset after reset after reset. But, you know, they're able to continue to find more plays around the map, and it just seems like Team Spectre are completely stumped.
Yeah, and realistically speaking, after Team Spectre had that 2-for-1 engagement in the upper jungle, I thought, hey, man, they're making this a game. You know, they're choosing to fight at good points. They're allowing themselves time to scale. You take a look at the kill count directed, directly compared to the rest. The time in the game, and well, we see rebounds about to die here as Quagger's going to pick that one up. Swag in trouble as well. Yeah, Team Spectre wasn't having these sort of problems earlier in the game. They were, you know, playing it close to the chest, allowing themselves time to scale. But now they can't. Now there's just no shot. As Learning's just going to get silenced, and one more auto attack will probably do it here. Now he's going to flash over the wall. Okay, I thought Learning was out of it. Although Talus is going to remind him that, yes, you are indeed out of it. A kill picked up there. Mid-inhibitor turret falling, as well as Connection and Sparrow are just decimating the base of Spectre. And in the blink of an eye, this game has gone to a nearly 9k gold deficit, and it's not stopping yet.
Yeah, and they're just continuously pushing forward. It's not a massive micro game. You're not seeing huge amounts of kills come through, but the macro coming through from DPS shows that they know how to close out these games. The siege is relentless. Baron has just expired, though, but they should be able to pick up another inhibitor for the troubles.
Yeah, and let's see if they're able to pick up any kills off the back of this as well. Alice Kander is running out of mana, but is doing a good job of poking. Swag using the Hextech gate to try to get behind, but they've been spotted out. Meanwhile, Quegger being knocked up and soft CC'd for a million years. The heal coming out, and they'll be okay. Swagasm on the backside. Create some discourse in the middle of the team fight. He's going to get a big heal. But here comes the Ornhorn. It's going to hit two members. The silence is down onto the Anivia, but so many big knockups. The showstopper was not finished there. And just like that, the rest of
Here comes Talus! Oh, no!
Talus with the Quadra! Can you get the Penta? Come on, Talus! No!
Oh, no!
No, he's going to get away. He's going to go back into the fountain. Is Swag. Swag deciding, not today, buddy. There is no second pentakill here. The turrets are going down. They want to try to get Talus this kill. You have no chance of getting Talus this kill. They're working on it. They're trying to do what they can. Swag just playing with his food right here. The Nexus will finally fall. And really a decisive victory by Team DPS.
It really well played when it comes down. Just amazing gameplay, honestly, coming through from DPS. We were critical of their draft. Their draft, realistically, should not have won them that game. But the gameplay that we saw, the macro knowledge, Queggered on, as you said, the Bungus, just able to provide them with so much frontline power, and it just made it really difficult for anyone else to have any chance of succeeding here.
Yeah, a Connection was just able to farm up. Alice Kander able to farm up. Two late game champions, and they were just unabated, really. They were just allowed to farm all game long. The one time that you had an opportunity to set Connection behind and you gave up 2 kills. You managed to find a kill onto Alice Kander, right? And you burnt the Anivia egg. But where was the follow-up after that? That's the only time all game Alice Kander died.
Yeah, it's difficult to find anything that went super wrong. I mean, Aliskander, they find the early kill, but after that, the Anivia just so annoying, just providing so much extra damage. Your bad connection here on this Tristana. We talked about how annoying the exhaust is going to be to deal with for the Tristana, but the Tristana just able to jump right through and push through. And Talus still finding a lot of value on this Kha'Zix here. Had a very quiet early game, but I mean, this entire early game was quiet in general, but once they were able to hit their breakpoints, just you saw those resets coming through. The quadra kill picked up by Talus. They wanted that pentakill. It would have been so poetic to see that happen when we trashed on their draft so much, but in the end, it might not have been the best draft, but they were the better team.
It would have been crazy to see 2 pentakills in one night, but unfortunately, we were not as lucky to see that. That being said, it looks like we are going to get things, we're trying to get things situated here for Game 2, so please do not go anywhere. We will be back after a very short break, and then we will bring you the draft for Game 2 between these two teams. That is Team DPS and Spectre.